Hey guys, how's it going? Obi here with Lionstrong Fitness Global, and thank you guys for tuning in to another video, guys. I'm excited to bring this topic to you today. But first and foremost, guys, simple housekeeping. I would appreciate if you guys would hit the subscribe button and like the video so more people can get this important message, because on this channel, we're not just talking about fitness related information, but I like to put it in a very simplistic and easily digestible format. So that way, as soon as you click off the video, you can apply the information and hit the ground running. And guys, keep in mind that you could have gone anywhere else. There's a lot of mind-numbing nonsense information on YouTube, but you guys are many of the few intelligent individuals who want to actually gain something of value. So with that said, guys, let's get into the video. So we're going to talk about, guys, how to speed up a slow metabolism. Oftentimes people, or actually, how can I say this? Oftentimes there are a lot of information out there in terms of the metabolism and, the reason why it's slowed down, or whether it be age or, whatever. Okay. But I'm going to explain to you guys why the metabolism is so important and how to speed it up the right way. Okay. So guys, the metabolism is what's responsible for breaking down all the food in your body, all the mitochondrial processes that take place in the body. But in pertaining to fitness, is responsible for burning fat and burning calories. Think of it as the engine to a car, right? Now, for a lot of people, they have the smallest engine, which is like a V4, right? Now, in order to speed up your metabolism, it's not from eating a particular fruit or taking a dietary supplement. It's simply from just building muscle, guys. And why that makes sense and why that is because muscle, guys, so muscle is basically the engine to a car, right? So in other words, the bigger the engine, the more fuel it can burn, right? So to your body, the bigger the more muscle mass that you have, the leaner your body can become, because it can burn calories at rest. So training, guys, when you train really hard and you're really getting after your workouts, that doesn't necessarily burn fat. It doesn't burn calories. I know most of us want to look at our Apple Watch and be like, oh, well, I burned this many calories. That's not accurate, guys. I hate to break it to you. I wear an Apple Watch. I love it. It's great aesthetic. It has many purposes, but it doesn't really tell you the correct reading to when you burn fat and burn calories, because it can't really assess how much muscle tissue you're breaking down and how much muscle you're stimulating. Okay, people oftentimes look at the heart rate, and that's important, but there's a dichotomy that needs to exist. You need to break down muscle tissue, and you need to get that heart rate up, preferably close to or above 150 beats a minute, because therefore you are really tapping into hitting that afterburn effect, and you're really disrupting the body on a mitochondrial level. Okay, so I always tell people that the best way to really stimulate your body is to do workouts where the intensity is higher, rest periods are shorter, and with resistance. People oftentimes don't understand the importance. And here's the thing, I don't want to say just lifting weights. When I say resistance, you want to find any fast twitch inducing exercise that recruits fast twitch muscle fibers, okay? And lifting weights is a component of it. Sprinting, explosive jumps, any type of explosive movement that requires you to go from 0 to 100, right, quickly, okay? So examples of this is sprints. You can go outside, preferably you can find a steep hill, run as fast and as hard as you can up that hill, walk back. You'll notice that when you run that sprint, your heart rate is through the roof. And the reason why it's through the roof is because the more intensity and the more explosive the movement is, you start recruiting muscles around your body. That's what spikes your heart rate. And notice how when you go on a jog, you're not really getting that, right? When you're just jogging like this, that's a very controlled tempo. You're not doing stuff like this. When you're sprinting, that explosiveness is what triggers your body to really tap in to really stimulate your metabolism. Okay, because you're building muscle. Every time, like when you sprint, every time you forcefully drive your arms like this, You're engaging your biceps, you're engaging your shoulders, your core, your lats, your pec muscles. Anybody who's done a bunch of sprints, the next day, your legs are not just sore, but your upper body as well, because you're being explosive, okay? That's the key. So sprints is one good thing. One thing I always do, because I'm always home, and every morning I'll hit the stairs. The stairs are great because I like to do 15-minute workouts in the morning, which is something I always talk about. Or actually, one of my programs, my level 1 program, I produce a program to where I do under 20-minute workouts twice a day. So I'm a big proponent of doing 2 workouts a day. The first workout is more for me to kind of get my body, revved up in the morning, heart rate up, blood pumping. I'm still going hard, but again, I make it the effort to try to wake my body up. And also too, when I get to my first meal of the day, I already have a ferocious appetite. So a good thing is, a thing that I do, is I like to go to the staircase, I'll grab some weights, and I'll do sprints up and down the stairs, holding weights. And I'll do a set where I have something really heavy so I can really shock my system, and another set where I hold 15s in each hand, and I'm running up and down the stairs with the weights. Now, why is this important? When you're holding weights and you're trying to force yourself up and down the stairs, you're really engaging all these muscles. Again, this is another way you can stimulate metabolism, because you want to try to force the body to recruit muscles everywhere. And you want to do a lot of unconventional things to where the body's like, oh crap, like what is this, right? Whenever you disrupt your body's equilibrium, that's the key to really stimulating metabolism, okay? So that's one thing. Another exercise that I think it's great, it's a total body exercise. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this, it's called man makers. A man maker is when you basically do, you basically go on the ground, right? And you're holding dumbbells, right? You do a push-up, you do a plank row, right? Push-up, you stand up with the dumbbells, weights on your shoulders, you squat down, and you press. That's called a man maker. Now, why do I love stuff like that? It's because, once again, you're killing 3 birds with 1 stone. You're working every part of your body from head to toe. And guys, if you do what I always preach in my programs, or not just in my program, but just in my training philosophy, but it's in my program, by the way. Link is in the description, guys, if you guys are interested. Amazing stuff worldwide. But I like it because you are stimulating your body from head to toe. And now, to add extra intensity, now go from like 60 seconds to 2 minutes to 3 minutes. Man, it's killer. Okay, you're burning a tons of calories. And anyone who's ever done it, okay, tell me if I'm lying, your heart rate is through the roof. Okay, so not only are you getting total body muscle activation, right? Once again, but you're getting that heart rate up. And guys, the only way to get that heart rate up through the roof to where you're on like fat burning capacity, where you're stimulating metabolism, is by doing movements that happen to break down muscle tissue. But because it breaks down so much muscle tissue, and you're doing max repetitions for time, like I always talk about, right? That is what burns fat. That's what stimulates the metabolism. So in short, guys, people's metabolism slow down. It's because as people get older, people always say, well, it's because of my age, I'm getting older. No, it's because when you get older, we typically become more sedentary, okay? I can't tell you guys how many people that I coach that are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and they've all came to me with that same excuse, I can't because I'm older. No, it's not that. It's because you're not training, okay? And I'm not talking about you going to the damn gym and walking on the treadmill and do what most older folks do. They're going on the stationary bike and they're reading a book. No, okay? You have to be doing the right type of training so that way you can maximize your results, okay? And a way that I like to promote this, guys, is, like I say, in my programs, I'm a big proponent of using dumbbells. Why? Because number one, most importantly, dumbbells, you will not get hurt doing them, okay? The reason why is because when you do dumbbells, it assesses your stabilizer muscles naturally. So if you're weaker on one arm, it's going to basically expose that. With a bar, you have to wedge yourself in. One arm's typically doing more work than the other arm. And what happens is you start overcompensating and then you get injured. So in my 21 years of doing this, people oftentimes get hurt because they're using a damn barbell. They're jumping on a machine, okay? I'm not a fan of barbells. I'm not a fan of machines because they're not functional, okay? They don't promote the increasing functioning of the stabilizer muscles, which keeps you healthy. And because you're not having to stabilize as much, your core can't activate, okay? And what do people who, as they age, they start to talk about? My lower back, this, yes, because you're not doing things to help work that, guys. So that's why I'm so big on people training the right way. And that's why I designed my programs the way I designed it, because it assesses all those problems and it keeps in mind that we got to make sure we do things using the right equipment. Dumbbell, that's really all you need. Keep the workouts under 30 minutes because the shorter the workouts are, the more intensity you can put into the training, and it's more sustainable because you can do it long term. On the days you're busy, the days you're not so busy. And this is the big reason why, guys, I can throw in a second workout is because my workouts are shorter. I'd rather people work out shorter time so they can do it more often. The more you can repeat it, do more often, that's how you get results, is through consistency, okay? And make sure that when you're doing your training, you're using those compound movements and you're picking those movements that work multiple muscle groups, and you're focusing on resistance. You're focusing on activities that really force you to explode and to use multiple muscle groups, the core most importantly. Guys, notice how everything I discuss in this video use the core. Man makers, sprints, okay? Let me tell you something. When you run sprints, every time you drive your arms, do this actually. If you're watching this video, do this. Do this for 30 seconds. Ready? This. If you do that for 30 seconds, you can really feel that core activate, because whenever you do a lot of explosive movements, you have to tighten up the core, okay? So it's like you doing a crunch, but not really. So this is why, guys, it's important to pick the right movements, because you're maximizing your efforts. You're not wasting time. People spend so much time training because they pick a lot of what I like to call lower ROI exercises, lower ROI movements. You want to pick higher ROI movements, right? You do that more often, you train to failure, you reduce those rest periods. Guys, that's a recipe for helping that metabolism rev up and explode, okay? So I can keep going, guys, but it'll be a super long video. But I hope you guys get the gist of it. If you guys have questions or you guys confused anything I said, that's fine. Be sure to leave comments down below. And also, guys, if you look at the description, there's a link to my website where you can access my Lionstrong Fusion training programs. It goes over a lot of stuff that I talked about. Again, I have people all over the world that get my programs and they love it, guys. It's impactful, it works, and most importantly, you will get those results. Okay, and for all the other services I provide, link is down below. Go to my website, lionstrongfitness.net. You have all that. You guys can email me as well if you have any questions, guys. If you guys have any questions as far as what you want me to go over next, discuss next, you guys can let me know and I'll tackle that for you guys, okay? So, guys, thank you once again for watching my video. Obi with Lionstrong Fitness Global, guys, and we are out of here. See you guys later.